I was concerned with what like people would think. And also I just wasn't there yet.
Katharine McPhee wasn't 100% sold from the start when it came to her relationship with now husband David Foster. On a recent episode of Dr. Berlin's Informed Pregnancy podcast, the country comfort star revealed that she was a tad hesitant about turning her friendship with the music producer into something more, in part because she was worried about the public perception of their 35-year age gap. Katharine took Dr. Berlin through the timeline of their romance. The two first met when she was on American Idol, and he produced her debut single after the show. Kat was in her early 20s at the time, and she says the whole experience was totally platonic.
I'm not trying to skirt around the obvious. We have a huge age difference. And there was, nothing. Like, I was very, very young, but I just loved being in the studio with him.
The two developed a friendship and began regularly working together, and David even sang at her wedding.
It was always just this like professional relationship. But I think looking back, I know he was definitely enamored with me. Looking back, I was always taken with him, and I just always felt so privileged to know him and be around him.
It was years later that the two eventually really hit it off in Palm Springs. But even though she was feeling the sparks, there was something holding her back.
The dynamic was like a huge shift for us. So it was no longer like, young 20-something-year-old girl, like not seeing him in that way. Nonetheless, though, it took me a while to kind of come around, right? To like really want to have like a real serious relationship, because I was very concerned with what like people would think. And also I just wasn't there yet.
Katharine said her other concerns were that she was used to being single and that she'd known David for so long. So it took her a while to figure out exactly what she wanted. But it wasn't long until the two got on the same page and committed to each other. They got engaged in the summer of 2018 and tied the knot a year later. Looking back, Kat says she understands people who don't get their age gap, but is so happy with how things turned out.
I totally get the judgment initially, but things are never as they appear. Like, things are never exactly as they appear. And I'm in love with our love story, and it's all that matters is that I'm in love with the love story.
Since recording her podcast, Katharine and David have expanded their family. Last week, the two welcomed their first child, a baby boy. Access Hollywood caught up with Katharine in the final stretch of her pregnancy. She told us how she was feeling and dished on her virtual baby shower.
Every day is different. Some days I feel totally normal, and other days I'm itchy and nauseated, or legs are swollen or whatever. It's definitely a trip. It's something, that you think about growing up, what's it going to be like, and it's been great. I can't really complain too much, other than not being able to see people like you really want to. Pregnancy aside, I've been very, very lucky, and hopefully I'm towards the end, so I'll be able to breathe again. I had to cancel my baby shower. I know you can cue the crying now, but it's just the California cases were just too crazy. So, but I did have my mom and sister made it special for me and decorated the house and did a surprise Zoom with all the people that were supposed to be there. So again, this is not normal times, and I'm not unique to having things canceled and birthdays and weddings and funerals and stuff. But it just kind of is the way it is now. So it is possible, but hopefully things are on the way up for everybody.